watch?
I just got back from the service center, and they won't service the watch unless they put a new dial and new hands.
It's because it's vintage.
And it's a spider dial. So
yeah, you don't want to touch it. I saw that right away.
Right.
Because of this dial.
I'm not a collector.
Okay.
So I want to be able to get the watch functioning if it breaks.
As a dealer,
Yeah.
you can't touch this watch.
I know.
You can't take it to Rolex and change the dial.
I know that
It's
now.
a sin. Yeah.
I know that.
It's a cardinal sin. So if you just want to adjust it, if it needs a service, I can do that for you.
Like, let's say you got to replace something. Then it's apparently this is all original.
Right. We only use original parts on Rolex.
But like these parts were the parts it was manufactured with.
Yeah.
Nothing's been changed. Actually, the one thing the tech said, he's like, this
So nice.
This bezel is a little springy. They might have replaced the spring in the bezel because it's like it pops too much. Like,
What?
well, Rolex told me, he's like, they go, after 30 years of the manufacture date, we don't make parts for that anymore. There are other parts, but like they're not going to be parts for that specific.
We try and find it for that model that would match that.
So there's
model
like there's a market for that. Like,
we have thousands and thousands of watches that we have.
Okay.
But if we're not able to find the original part that would match that, we'd say, hey, this is the part that we're able to find. It would match this model, whatever it is. If you're okay with it, then this is what it is. If not, we can't perform the service.
Okay, so the other thing is then this spider dial, right? Can I take this watch underwater? I mean, there's moisture's gotten in there, right? That's the reason that the lacquer is like cracking.
Have to water pressure test it. If it passes the water pressure test, then it's okay.
What's the potential? Is there any potential negatives during that test?
Well, before I water pressure test it, I take the entire watch apart. We inspect it before we do that, so it doesn't damage the watch.
Okay. Allegedly, this stuff is original box.
It looks like it.
Original paperwork. My question about the paperwork. So one thing that I made sure of in writing when I bought this watch was that this was a 1988 model. Rolex says no.
What do they say, 89?
83.
Oh, let me see.
And this is a point of sale document, I'm assuming. This is the original paperwork. This says 1988.
For example, I have a 118238.
Okay.
That's a 2015, and the watch was discontinued in 2012. It's a 2015 because it was old stock in Rolex's stock, and that's the date that it left the Rolex store, was 2015. Okay. So that's the date that it has on the card.
I see.
He's saying it's an 88, same thing, because that's the date that it left.
That's
Rolex.
the date I think it left Rolex.
That's the day that it left the store.
Yes.
This exact date, 10/21/88.
Yes.
But the watch was made in 84. They're claiming 83, 84.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the same situation.
Okay. So
he's right to say it's an 88. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to know unless you take it to Rolex when the watch was made.
Yeah.
So we go by dealers, secondary market dealers, go by the date on the card.
Okay.
That's the date that's the actual date.
Okay. So
that's the date the warranty is from forward. Like today there's 5-year warranties.
Got it.
That's the date the watch is.
Interesting.
So we have to go by that.
Okay.
There's no way for us to know when it was made.
Yeah.
It's not public information.
Okay. Got it.
Does that help?
Yeah, that helps.
It's like a vintage car. It's so cool.
Right. It is cool, and it looks great too. There's something a lot more subtle about it. I think that it's different.
When you're not wearing it, you put it in the box, and you're not jumping in the ocean with it when you do wear it.
Right. Never. So that's my other question.
Be careful.
What can we do to preserve? I mean, I don't know how this hasn't disintegrated. I mean, cardboard disintegrates over time.
It's not that old. It's not that old. We have some from the 50s.
Wow, and they're still intact, huh?
Yeah.
'Cause I live by the beach.
That's
high
a
humidity.
little worse. Yeah.
So, should I encase this in a safe?
Yes.
Well,
Get those airtight Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
And put it in that.
Okay.
When you put it away.
Okay.
Because or else the humidity is all going to get inside of it.
It gets in everything.
And if it's a cracked crystal, then you're really going to be screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is this thing worth in your opinion?
It's a nice watch. So, our friend, not customer really, just brought in a 16660 Rolex Sea Dweller with a spider dial, very nice patina, matching hands, and the little pearl on the bezel matched as well. Really nice patina on it. Brought it in, had a few questions. We answered them to the best of our ability. His discrepancy was the watch card, the serial card, was dated 88, and he took it to Rolex to get it serviced. They refused to service the watch because those parts don't exist anymore. They'd have to put in new parts. But if you do that, you're going to devalue it because it's a vintage Rolex. But Rolex told him it was in 1983, 84. So he thought the dealer lied to him. But I explained to him, secondary market dealers go by the date on the card because that's the day that it left the Rolex store. So here we have another customer. But a really nice watch.